We're live, by the way.
Not okay. I'm heading into the chat as soon as it lets me go live. As soon as it lets me find the live. There it is.
I'm going to go ahead and gotta change it to live chat.
Yes, you do.
I had to block somebody yesterday that was talking about you on TikTok.
Oh,
I don't
I
know
was
if you.
going to ask if you blocked them.
I don't know if you. I guess you saw that.
I replied to it.
Oh, you did? I didn't see any
Uh-huh.
replies when I blocked it.
I don't know why. Monkey Boots replied to her, and so did I. I asked her why she was so obsessed with my friends and why she was obsessed with me or you. And I figured she probably answered my question whenever she, blocked me, but there you blocked her. I Why? Why even put that?
Well, you know me. I just block.
Yes. Hello everyone. Welcome to the live.
Hey, everyone. We are live everywhere. We are. Hi, Brian, Gerald, Cynthia, Envision. How are you doing? Andrea, Karen, Triton, Flower. Hi, folks on Substack. We are live today. I'm taking questions. We're live on YouTube, TikTok, and Substack as well. Hi, Mark from Newfoundland. So I'm here with Jill. We're going to cover a few things, and then typically how we do after that, I'm talking to people on Substack right now because they may not be familiar with my lives. We'll take questions. I'm a globally recognized oil and gas expert. I get a lot of oil and gas questions, oil and gas related questions, but you can ask me a question about anything. If I don't know, I'm not going to give you an answer. I'm a little bit different than most people. I'm not going to sit here and make stuff up. Let me back this camera off a little bit. I feel like I'm too close to it. Where do we start? Mike Waltz is out as what was he? Intelligence guy. Yeah, Mike Waltz.
Yes.
The signal chat guy. The signal chat guy is out. I don't know why. It was fake news.
It was fake news.
The signal thing was fake news. Why is he out? I need answers. I need to know. What did Mike do? Trump put him forward to be UN ambassador. There we go. UN. Wait, who was the UN ambassador? Who was that? That was that. Did we lose the UN ambassador?
Did we?
Did we?
Yeah, because they're going to replace him with. Wait, that doesn't make it. Is he going to be both?
I don't know.
Maybe you'll make Elon that.
Bruiser says, I wish YouTube had the ability to pin and let Jill pin questions in chat too. Bruiser, we're fighting. We're fighting. As per your statement, you and I are fighting, so wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first.
Oh my God. And I'm just going to say that I joined Bruiser on that. I said, I'm with her. Like, yeah, I'm with Bruiser on that. But Bruiser, the reason I can't pin, he can pin. I cannot pin. And I believe the reason is for super chats, right?
BP, I'm going to get to your questions. For people on Substack, BP wants to know, Mr. Global, can you talk about Trump putting sanctions on countries buying Iranian oil? Is that mostly China? That was actually the next thing I was going to talk about. Stuff is escalating with Iran. I don't know if you saw last night, Pete Hegseth. I don't know if he was drunk tweeting or what, but he basically told Iran we were going to attack them. At a time and place of our choosing, and I proceeded to inform Pete that we should probably attack them in Iran. Probably is a good idea. But I was glad that he didn't list the time and date of the attack on the X platform like he does on Signal. But then Donald Trump has come out and he put sanctions on Iran. Any country that purchases oil from Iran has additional sanctions put on them right now. And that, we've seen upward pressure on oil prices today. I think they're up about $1. But who buys 90% of Iran's oil? Any guesses, Jill?
Russia.
China. China buys 90% of Iran's oil.
I wasn't that much off.
Now, so for you that can't hear, she said Russia, it's China. Yeah, so we have, in effect, placed additional sanctions on China. At the exact same time, we're saying we're going to lower sanctions on China. We just put more sanctions on China because I doubt Donald Trump knows that China buys all the Iranian oil.
Yeah, I doubt he knows it.
The sanctions are not the big concern, though. The big concern would be military action in Iran. The big concern is military action in Iran. Iran has proxies and terrorist organizations all over the Middle East prepared to attack U.S. bases, which are also all over the Middle East. So we do something to Iran, this could escalate very quickly to an entire Middle East conflict, including the Strait of Hormuz, which most of the oil that comes out of the Middle East goes through that strait, and that strait borders Iran, and Iran will try every way they can to block that strait, and if they are successful, even just for a few days, I don't think they would be successful. I'm not saying they would be. Our Navy is there, but if they were in any way successful, they could just escalate the conflict in the strait to prevent tankers from moving through there for their safety. You could see oil go God knows how high. We get people saying, hyperbolic things about oil prices, like, oh, oil could go to $300. No, that's not a thing. But it could easily go way over $100 if we strike Iran. And so a strike on Iran would push oil to 80. Conflict in Strait of Hormuz would push it to over 100 instantly. Like it would just...
So, someone in the chat said, truck diver said, I'm a 34-year-old truck driver. I didn't vote for Trump, but I do agree. If you can't speak English, you don't drive a truck. Now, isn't that already a law?
Yeah, so, the truck drivers not speaking English. That's already a law. But we did not enforce it. We stopped enforcing that under the Obama administration. And the reason we stopped enforcing it was because of the shale revolution. Because the trucking industry and the oil and gas industry exploded during the shale revolution. We could not find truck drivers. We were importing truck drivers from all over the world. You go to West Texas, and you meet a truck driver, it could be from one of 20 countries. right? A lot of Haitians, a lot of people from Central America, Latin America, Mexico, South America. So they eased up regulating that because of the Shell Revolution, and then they just left it in place. Now, the regulation that you must be able to speak English is that's a vague description of it. If the person can communicate with law enforcement, and if they can understand signs and paperwork, right? So what I'm saying is the English speaking requirement, it can be very limited, and they'll get by, right? And here's the thing. If you think a truck driver that doesn't speak English doesn't know what a stop sign says on it, you're missing the point. They understand the signs. Right?
Right.
They're different shapes and colors for a reason. It's so people can understand them that can't read, including Americans, who, by the way, average a 6th grade literacy level in the United States. So it's not about the road signs. Forget about the road signs. It's about the paperwork.
Well,
but it's also about the fact that the trucking industry is about to collapse. And Donald Trump knows that. So he's like, hey, the English-speaking truck drivers need to be the ones that keep their jobs. That's what it's really about.
That's what it's really about.
That's what it's really about.
Yeah. And if they couldn't read the signs or anything like that, like they can't read a number that matches the speedometer on their vehicles, right? If they couldn't do that, they couldn't drive a car either.
That's correct.
I mean, couldn't drive anything.
So not being able to speak English is not really the correct term, because you can not be able to speak English and understand the road signs, understand what the paperwork says, and communicate with DOT officials, or these guys, they managed to pass the CDL test, right?
Right.
May have been written in Spanish. May have been. I don't know. But it's a long way from not speaking English to not being able to do your job as a non-English speaker, right? So I think if you can still perform the duties, even if you're not fluent in English, like you'll get to keep your job. I think. I don't know that for sure. We'll see. I guess it depends on how they decide to enforce it.
Right.
Do I think that will impact deliveries even more? I've seen there have been tens of thousands of layoffs of truck drivers. What happened to my question? Oh, there it is. Stephanie Pruitt with more coming. Honestly, I think the largest thing that's going to impact deliveries is lack of things to deliver. I think that's going to be much larger than the Spanish-speaking truck drivers. I really do. I think lack of deliveries is going to be the huge thing. My phone isn't charging.
Someone on TikTok said it's a disaster dealing with them as a language barrier. Then learn their language. If you work in that industry and you have to deal with people in that language, then learn their language.
Well, like I said, it was already a law. It's already a regulation. It's just going to be enforced now.
Right.
Jonna says, probably depends on how racist the DMV worker is.
It's a possibility.
So we have a news station in Oklahoma City. You guys heard the story about the family in Oklahoma City that was raided by ICE, right? Ransacked their house, took all their belongings. ICE is saying that they have been working that investigation for 4 years, had nothing to do with the Trump administration. I don't understand what that means.
I don't either.
You did what you did, regardless of the administration. Right? There could be a Democrat in the White House. There could be Donald Trump in the White House. There could be whoever could be in the White House. It wouldn't matter. You still did what you did, right? But the thing that really pissed me off about this news story, this is KOCO Channel 5 in Oklahoma City. They completely left out all of the terrible things the ICE agents did in that house. This story has gone national. It's been covered by every news organization in Oklahoma, for sure. Rachel Maddow did a piece on it. So this story has gone national. Everyone knows about it. So another news station in Oklahoma, one of the largest ones, it is the ABC affiliate, decided to run the story, and they left out every single thing the ICE agents did wrong.
Oh my God.
They basically ran a story and said these ICE agents went into this house. They didn't say anything at all about all the things they stole from the family. They didn't say anything about leaving young girls outside in the rain in their underwear, with God knows who maybe driving by, peeking at these girls, scoping out victims. I don't know. Leaving them penniless, taking all of their money. They left out every bit of that. They basically just ran a story that there was a raid done on a house. And it had nothing to do with Donald Trump. And they went and knocked on the door, and they're like, see, nobody's answering. They don't want to talk about it. They're in fear for their life. They're not going to answer the door, bro.
Right.
When the mother, Marissa, has been interviewed on camera, she does it in the dark so no one can see her. She's not going to answer the door. If she's even there, which I doubt they're even there. They probably left. I would leave. So, not a good... Nothing good for Channel 5 KOCO out of Oklahoma City. What a shitty way to run. Don't even run the story. If you're not going to tell the story, don't even run it. Right?
I agree.
Because
don't even run it, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
They do.
We were sitting there watching it, and my wife didn't know about it. She hadn't heard about it yet. And I turned it up, and I'm like, hey, you got to see this. And she's like, what? I said, just watch this story. You got to see it. The story was finished, and she's like, what's the big deal? And I'm like, they didn't run the story. They didn't tell you the story. So I had her go watch the piece that I did on YouTube, that I posted on YouTube. I had her go watch that, and she was just livid, of course, because she got the full story.
Yeah, the whole story is, I could see if she didn't hear about it and she's like, well, what's the big deal? That's why they do it. That's why they do it, though.
Yeah. Here's the problem I have. Yes, the people they were looking for lived in that house a month ago or whatever. They did used to live in that house. This family just moved to our state from Maryland. They move into this house. And the main issue I have is once they confirmed that these weren't the people they were looking for, they still treated them like criminals and took all of their stuff and all of their money and everything they have. Mm-hmm. These people just moved here, and it's my understanding that they hadn't set up bank account yet and things like that. They're waiting for the husband who is coming behind. Right? So like all of their money they had at home because they hadn't set up accounts yet in the state of Oklahoma for whatever reason. So all the money they took out of their house was all of their money.
Was all their money. Yeah, they stole it.
It was every dollar they had, and they took it. And this happened in a pretty nice neighborhood. This wasn't some poor neighborhood ridden with crime. This was a nice 3 or 4 bedroom brick home in a neighborhood in northwest Oklahoma City, which is a nicer area of town. Probably a neighborhood, similar to mine.
Yeah.
So just a middle class neighborhood, right? Nothing super fancy, but like this didn't happen in a slum. This, you know what I mean? It's just the whole story's wild to me.
Yeah.
And they are insisting that they had every right to do what they did because the warrant was on the house and not on the people, which meant that they could take anything in the house they wanted. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Especially once you found out that you got the wrong people.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said before, they're going to go into the wrong house one day.
They may have already gone into the wrong house. It'll just be delayed. The consequences of that will be delayed. But we'll see.
I get that, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
That wrong house.
Listen, somebody's going to get shot.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody's going to get shot. Some ICE agents are going to go into someone's house where they don't belong, and they're going to have it. Everyone's going to have it out, and people are going to die. That's what's going to happen. 1,000%.
That is exactly what's going to happen, and that's an issue that they're probably already considering. Right? They're probably already considering that, so they're probably considering other things as well.
Yeah.
Other ways to stop that from happening.
What else is going on today? Gas prices are what's this guy? This guy is Besant, is that his name? Scott Besant.
Which one?
Gas is $1.93 in Florida, says Scott Besant on Fox News.
It's not, though.
Gas is $3.17 in Florida. There is one station in Florida where gas is $2.40, but that's E85. That's not regular gas. If you don't know what E85 is, it's 85% ethanol. Yeah. So there's one station where gas is $2.40, not $1.93, but that's E85. Nobody's buying that shit. Nobody's buying that. That's not a thing.
I'm going to have to find that article from him and share it and then put the real price. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be people who believe it.
Exactly, John. Gas is $2.04 at the rack. How's it $1.93 at the pump? That's not a thing.
But they will believe it.
No, I mean, the price at the rack doesn't include state taxes, federal taxes, fees, storage tax, whatever Florida may have. It doesn't include any of that. There, in no universe is the price at the gas station lower than it is at the rack. It's not a thing. If you don't know what the rack is, it's like the wholesale price of gas, right? It's not a thing. He didn't say gallon, maybe per liter. This is the United States,
yeah.
and we're talking about the U.S. government, and I can assure you, nobody in our government knows what a liter is. And they certainly
Probably
would never
not.
talk about a liter.
Unless they they heard someone else say liter, but then they just changed it to gallons because they thought that that's what it was, and so now they're like, let me tell everyone that this is this $1.98 a gallon, and even though someone told him it was a liter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's a possibility.
The only thing they have liters of in Florida is whiskey. That's not.
Oh my God. Yes, a 2 liter of Pepsi. That's a possibility. Wait, a 2 liter of Pepsi, I think, is even more than that now.
The math ain't mathing. That is correct.
Yes, the math ain't mathing.
Julia, if you want to hear the guest, which she's not a guest, she's a regular, you can join this live on YouTube, Mr. Global YouTube. I decided to go live on Substack just to answer any questions that Substack followers may ask. But yeah, you're not going to hear the guest because my software doesn't allow me to add Substack to my multi-stream. Yeah. So I'm just going live on my phone here. I don't know what a 2 liter of Coke is. I haven't bought a 2 liter of Coke. Oh my God, I don't know how long it's been. I quit buying 2 liters decades ago.
Yeah, I quit. Me too. Me too.
Does anybody buy 2 liters anymore? Is that a thing?
I mean, it's a thing. People do it.
It's a thing. People do it. The reason I quit buying 2 liters
we don't.
of soft drinks is because they're typically flat. Yeah, they're flat. Yes. That shit ought to be 99 cents if it's going to be that flat.
Yes.
Hey, John says it used to be 99 cents. Yeah, I remember that. That's when I was buying it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when I bought it too.
Yeah, when a 2 liter was 99 cents, a 1 liter was 89 cents. I remember that because I would buy the 1 liter bottles of Coke all the time. I thought, why am I buying a 1 liter? I can get a 2 liter for 10 more cents.
So someone said only for parties. I don't even buy them, Karen. I don't even buy them for parties. They're not.
Yeah.
Because they're not worth, like, as many as you got to buy to equal a case of some kind of cheap pop, it comes out to more. So I just buy the cheap pop.
What was it like building the pyramids? Listen, you should have seen me building the pyramids. I was a specimen. I was something to look at.
If you were building the pyramids, then I was too. If you was building the pyramids, I was there too.
So, I designed the lifting and hoisting systems to build the pyramids. I was a pyramid building expert. Yeah, I did all of that. Yeah.
And I just stood around telling him what to do.
And then they fired me because I couldn't speak the language. Can you believe that shit? They fired me.
That's why I had to stand around and tell him what to do because he didn't speak the language.
Yeah, I went to the store the other day and the 12 packs of I drink Coke Zero. $9 for a 12 pack. I was like, what in the hell? $9? And someone earlier in the chat said, I remember when it was 3 12 packs for $12 or $10 is what John said in the chat. Yeah, I remember that too. I think it was the last time I went to the store. It was like 3 for $10.
My God.
But I haven't.
Just 9. Yeah.
I haven't done grocery shopping by myself since probably before COVID. That's how long it's been since I have gone to the grocery store and actually bought groceries. I've been to the grocery store and bought an item or two or whatever, but Because we get our groceries delivered now. My wife orders them and they're delivered, and I put them up, but I don't look at the receipt, right? I don't know what we're paying. So I went to the grocery store. I told my wife, I was like, man, groceries are expensive. And she looked at me. I did not like the look, right? Because
she looked at you like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she looked at me like, what the fuck? Because she's been telling me this for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, she has probably told me this every time she's gotten groceries. And it just never sunk in for whatever reason. But she wasn't specific enough in my defense. She's like, groceries are high. Well, I heard people were saying groceries was high when I was 15 and working in the grocery store. You know, I didn't know what that meant until I went to the grocery store. And then I was like, holy shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my husband hates when I go to the grocery store with him. He doesn't, or if I go myself, he doesn't really care for that very much. Because, like, he says, I'm going to go to the grocery store, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting ready. I'm going with you. And this is what I hear. That sigh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the issue? Because he knows he's going to be spending more money.
Right.
Just go, you stay here.
No. Okay. Bruiser and Christine, for the people in the chat that are telling me to listen to my wife, listen, she was not specific about the enormity of the price increase. She was just saying, man, groceries are high. I didn't realize how high, right? She wasn't specific about that. Like, I knew groceries were high. I knew they were high. But until I went and purchased them myself and looked at the prices and paid for, that's when I was like, holy shit, this is really high. See, that's the problem. She didn't say really. She just said high. She should have said really high. And then I would have said, how high?
Oh my God.
$9 for a 12-pack. And, you know, when I look at prices, since I'm older, and when I started working, I was making $3.15 an hour, I believe is what the minimum wage was. So when I look at prices, I look at prices, and Jill, you may do this too. When I look at the price of something, what in my mind, I'm calculating how long someone has to work to pay for that, right? Because that's essentially what you're doing. Right. You're trading your labor. You're trading your labor for a good when you purchase that good, right? And when I saw that $9 12-pack in Oklahoma, where the minimum wage is $7.25, I looked at that and I thought, holy cow, somebody has to work like an hour and 15 minutes just to buy this one thing. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot about income tax. Hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, you don't forget the income tax.
Yeah. That's what I was just talking about. They got to pay income tax on their wages, so it's not an hour and 15 minutes, it's an hour and 45 minutes. That someone has to work to buy that. That's insane.
Chris, that is insane. And Chris Mack said the prices of groceries are higher than Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
They most certainly are.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to say, higher than a sack of groceries all the time. When I was describing how high something was, typically it would be me, but I would say higher than a sack of groceries. And like now, I don't think that happens anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I get higher than a sack of groceries anymore.
But that word, that word groceries, who uses that?
That's a very uncommon word. Nobody uses the word groceries.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know
I
about that
don't
word.
understand.
It's they just discovered that word, really.
Yes. And it's a great word. I'm going to start using it every day. I can't. Oh my God. This person is
Groceries.
our president.
Groceries. What a beautiful word. Do you use this word?
That person is our
Groceries.
president.
I thought he knew all the best words already. He's just discovering groceries.
He made it up himself. He didn't discover it.
He made the word up?
Yeah.
Oh, Donald, you little rascal.
Oh my God.
Ah, man. I don't know. What else is in the news today? Do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions? It's a bigly word.
Yeah, anyone have questions? I'm watching
Eating the
TikTok
booty like
and
groceries? Yeah, I'm trying to learn all the new words. I don't need Donald Trump telling me groceries is a new word. It's not.
Tom Powell wants to know, where do babies come from?
Tom Powell?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to know where babies come from?
Yes. I think he should ask his parents that.
Well, most people don't know this, but landscapers, that's where babies come from. They come from landscapers. They they make all the babies. And they deliver them. They just use storks like in cartoons and stuff because they don't want to frighten people, because a lot of landscapers are Hispanic, and it would scare the hell out of a lot of evangelical Americans if they knew that Hispanic landscapers were delivering babies to their house. So they say it's storks, but it's not storks. It's landscapers.
And they are not citizens, right?
Great question, Tom Powell, by the way. He knew the answer to that question.
Yeah, because he said, damn Skippy.
And I need no further proof than the fact that Tom Powell is still finding out about kids he has. Right, Tom? What
Oh, no.
What other
he
proof
just
do you
said
need?
thank you, and he just said thank you, and then you said that.
What?
He said guilty as charged. He
Hey,
can't
man.
see the TikTok chat, Tom Powell. That's why I'm repeating what you say.
Have I heard about the 100 men versus one gorilla? Yes. It's a stupid argument, okay? I heard one person comment on this that he actually made sense, right? So, 100 men could easily take out a gorilla. Easily. And this point of view came from this guy was a mixed martial arts fighter, like a UFC type fighter. And the reason 100 men could easily, as a matter of fact, he said 10 men could take out a gorilla. And that is because, just like men, gorillas are very similar to men in the fact that they get exhausted very quickly when fighting. People will train for a year, 18 months, to fight a few 3-minute rounds, and that's because the act of it itself is so exhausting that you use up all of your energy. And so his point was that 10 men could defeat a gorilla, because he would literally lay down. Once he reached an exhaustion point, he would literally lay down and give up. And I agree with that 100%. What do you think, Jill?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, nobody's debating that a gorilla is, I don't know, 10 times stronger than a man. That's not even anything we can debate. We understand that. But this is about fighting and exhaustion, right?
Yeah.
Peony thought it was the milkman. You know, we transitioned. We used to have milkmen. We don't really have them anymore. Now we have landscapers. So the milkman kind of handed that role off to the landscapers.
Yes. Yes, they did.
What if the gorilla is in a committed relationship? Well, I don't know what that means.
What don't you know?
What does a gorilla do
in a committed relationship?
What are? No, I mean they just shit in their hand and throw it at one specific gorilla. Like, is that what a committed relationship is to a gorilla?
Yeah. Well, that's how they pick the person they want, right? or the gorilla.
I feel like I feel like we are de-evolving as people. I wonder if we'll get all the way back to the point where we're doing that again, where we're literally just throwing our shit at each other.
Throwing shit at each other?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be... I mean, are we sure that some don't already do that?
Well, in the South, yeah. They definitely do that in the South. I've seen them do it. Katy Perry picked a piece of corn out of a turd on stage. Did you see that?
No. Why? No, I didn't.
Because she's a weirdo.
Tell me that?
Why would I tell you that? Because it's pertinent to the subject. We're talking about people throwing shit at each other.
Oh, what the hell?
It wasn't real. It wasn't real, Jill.
Right.
She had them make like a blow-up toilet with a giant blow-up piece of poop coming out of it with a big blow-up piece of corn stuck to it, and she grabbed it. I'm like, what's happening?
Oh my God.
What is the message? I have no idea. Maybe, yeah, no, Sean, she's not an astronaut. Don't say that. But did
God. So you said that's what happens down south. Why are you leaving it to the south? Because I think it happens in the north too.
Well, I mean, yeah, wherever the hillbillies are, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, they think that they're from the south when they're not. They're Yankees, but so I mean, it's possible they automatically assume they're from the south.
Yeah.
At least the hillbillies, around here do.
They have Canadian hillbillies. Does Canada have hillbillies?
I don't know. Well, they have Maple Mega, right? So they must.
Did you see the video I did yesterday to Maple Mega?
Yes, I did. That's the one that we got commented on, and you had to block that person.
Oh, was that video?
Yes. I'm like, why would she write that when I'm the one I was tagged in this video? Why are you, what?
And she was a follower. I saw the comment and I thought, well, that's probably just some hateful person. And I went and looked at their profile and it was a follower. And I just blocked.
I figured it was a follower. She wasn't a follower of mine.
She wants your spot.
There is no drill, baby, drill. Maybe. She can can have it.
Yeah, it is so prestigious. It is so prestigious.
She can do what I do.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
People want to be you, Jill. That's funny.
They're so weird, some of them, though. They're so weird.
She called you weird.
No, yes. Yes. Well, she said...
Did you know that I blocked her?
Julie.
Like, you should have known I blocked her. Like, I don't put up with anybody talking about you at all. Like, that's not going to fly.
You can ask Monkey Boots, Bootsy. I text her and said, because she replied to her, and I text her and said he blocked her.
Oh, really? So she saw it too?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that anybody had seen it because I didn't see any comments or replies to her comment. They may have been there. I just saw her comment. I went to her page, saw she was a follower, and then I blocked her. Like, the whole thing was 8 seconds. So...
it was quick. You got her quick, yes.
And it's funny because I never read my comments. Like the one time I go read my comments, I'm blocking people.
So Juju, somebody asked why. Somebody made a comment about me on one of his videos, and she was really rude. So that's who he blocked.
Mr. Global has clearly never heard of the Trailer Park Boys if he needs to ask if there's Canadian rednecks. I've heard of the Trailer Park Boys. I don't know that much about them. I didn't know they were from Canada.
Yes. Yes, they are. I forgot all about them.
Is Bruiser one of the Canadian hillbillies?
No.
She challenged me to a fight.
You would be able to tell.
She challenged me to a fight.
I did too. I did too. I said I'm with her. I put I'm with Bruiser.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm. I know you did.
Yeah.
I said I'm with Bruiser.
I just thought you were disgusted by the video. I didn't think you wanted to fight.
Well, when we say that doesn't mean we're actually fighting. It's just like, why would you post that? That's what that actually means.
I posted something vile. Yeah, I posted something vile that I bet you watched 6 times. So don't give me that crap.
Dude, that was creepy. It wasn't just vile. It was creepy.
I did reply to a couple of the comments in the video. People asking me why I posted it. And my answer was basically, this is why I posted it. Like, do you see the comments? This is why I posted it. Was the Maple MAGA short a response to a comment? It was a response, Triton, to about 100 comments. Yeah. Yeah, because here's the thing, Triton. Everyone in Canada wanted to know my opinion on the election until I gave it. And then they were like, you don't know shit about Canada. And I said, that's why I didn't want to give my opinion in the first place. Because I don't know that much about Canadian politics or the candidates. I've said that 100 times.
Yes, you did. For Real says your comments about Maple MAGA being millions of people is not a thing. So there's not millions of them.
Well,
they don't have as many as we have.
They don't have as many as we have.
All right. I mean, how many voted for PP? That's how you'll know how many there are. So for real,
well, no.
Find out how many voted for PP.
No. No.
Yeah.
Not everyone that voted for PP, which is... I need to stop saying that word. Not everyone that voted for him would be a Maple MAGA, would they?
Yeah.
Like in the United States, we have
Trump.
conservatives and then we have MAGA, and they're two different people.
Right, but the conservatives here did not vote for Trump.
See, Bruiser says cons are 40%, MAGA's 15%, maybe 20%.
Right. Right. I agree with her. PP acts like Trump.
Jill is not my bookie. She's my enforcer. That's different. Yeah.
Wait, who said I was your bookie? I missed it.
It's up in the comments a little ways. Sean Garner.
Oh, Sean, what
Jill's
the
the
hell?
enforcer.
I try to go get a drink, and you're talking about me being, wow. can't even go get a drink. That's funny.
What else is in the news today? I got invited to something. Let me go look at that.
So the funeral director, yes, from Pennsylvania made the New York Times.
Really?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
And more people keep adding on to that. I'm just trying to fill in the spot here till you find something else.
I got an invite this morning to speak at the annual conference for the Mayor's Council of Oklahoma.
I am getting tea. That's what I decided on.
You're getting what?
And tea.
Oh, tea.
And yes, that's what I decided on.
Red Diamond?
Arizona.
Ugh. Ugh.
I like Arizona tea.
It's
green tea though.
It's too bitter for me.
I drink the green tea with the honey and ginseng, and it is not bitter.
Oh, I don't think I've tried that.
If it's regular tea, it's going to be something different. It's not going to be Arizona tea. This is green tea, and it's really good, actually. If I drink regular tea, it will be Turner's tea. What?
So, no, Jill did not say she was going to pee. She won't make that announcement.
I wasn't going to pee.
Yeah.
I won't. I will actually be like, I'll be right back.
Right.
I ain't even going to take my headset with me. Trust me, I'm not going to even take my headset with me.
Am I going to speak? I don't know. I'll think about it. I have to email him back and ask him what it pays.
So, somebody said something is definitely not right with your live on my end. It keeps cutting the sound out. Now, he's going to laugh, but I'm going to say this anyway. Leave the app, clear your cache, force stop the app, and then come back. That may fix the problem. He's taking a drink so he doesn't laugh. See?
I am.
Told you.
So we got a new pet. I don't know what it is.
Oh no. I don't know what it is either. It's like a mix between a chicken and something else.
Yeah. Maybe as it grows, it'll become more clear what the pet is. No, Bruiser, it's not a lizard. It's not a goat. We don't know, so you're not going to guess if we don't know.
Right. You can't guess, but we do know it ain't those things.
Is it a rabbit? No, not a rabbit.
It looks like a chicken mixed with something, right? I don't know what it is. Chicken with no legs.
It ain't got no legs.
It ain't got no legs. It doesn't have nothing. Just the body and the face.
It's a virtual pet.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a virtual pet.
Yeah, Juju. It's definitely some type of bird, I would say.
I don't think it's a bird.
It looks like it. It looks like it might be. Like without wings. It's just a body and a face.
Is it even a body?
Well,
I thought it was just a head.
Okay, it might just. It might be just a head. So there. Oh my God.
So Bruiser, on TikTok, if you have a streak with someone, that means, right, you've messaged someone for like more than 3 days, you establish a streak. Now if you have a streak with someone, you can have a pet with that person. And this little pet, anytime you go into your messages, it like follows you around your DMs. Right? And it doesn't tell you what the pet is. They just call it a streak pet.
Yes.
But it does look kind of like sort of a Pokemon, maybe?
Kind of, yeah, I guess you could say that. It's like one of them virtual pets that you would use, that them games you used to play, right? It's kind of like that.
No, Bruiser. We are not raising a pet together. No. Jill and I have a pet. I don't trust you with a pet.
I let him know that I, took out all the pets that I've ever played virtually.
Yeah. I've never had a virtual pet. But you feed the pet by continuing, like, right? You when you message each other, that's feeding the pet. If you share content with each other, that's feeding the pet. So you basically feed the pet by continuing to do what you've always done, basically, and it's supposed to grow. I wish we had started the pet. Well, I don't know if the pet was available, honestly. I just found it yesterday. I don't know how long it's been there. I wish we had the pet from the beginning, because we have how long is our streak?
I don't remember.
It's like 275 or 280 days, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So our pet would be really big right now if we had it the whole time. No, there's no pet entrails, Bruiser. No.
Bruiser, if you want to do a pet with me, you have to start messaging me. And here's the thing. I am not good with pets on them virtual ones. I am really not. And Matt's about to find out that I'm not.
Well, all you got to do is keep the streak going, and the pet will be fine.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
And we have a long streak, so.
Right.
Her name is Millie. The pet's name is Millie. I came up with the name.
Yes, he did.
It was also my idea to get the pet.
Yes, it was. I didn't have an option, though. I had no option.
Yeah, you did.
It never showed me. No,
you could
it
have
never
not
showed
accepted the invite.
Right. No, I'm talking about like it didn't show me an option to start one until you sent the invite. Yeah.
So at the bottom of your DMs, right above your little box where you write your messages in, there's like these little tiny tabs. Like the tab that has, like you can hit one of those that automatically sends a message that whatever's on that tab, like the nudge thing. If you scroll those tabs to the right, it's on the far right, and it just says pet. And I was messing around in DMs yesterday, and I saw that because I was going to send you something, but I didn't want to send you a nudge. So I scrolled over to see if there was something funny to send you, and there wasn't. But there was a pet, so I clicked on pet, and it popped up and said, "You're going to have a pet with Jill." And I was like, "Cool, a pet."
And I told him we have to keep Wilson and May away from him, away from the pet. Because Wilson and May are a lot alike when it comes to pets. If I had chickens, May would take them out. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, having a virtual pet is definitely some next level shit for sure, I guess. Whatever that means.
Whatever it means. But I'm telling you, I am not good with virtual pets.
I'm not good with chickens, and this looks a lot like a chicken.
It looks a lot like a chicken.
Because it's yeller.
I think that's what makes you think of chicken, because it's yellow.
You're the one that thought it was a chicken.
Right, that's what I mean. That's what makes me think that it's like more like a chicken because it's yellow, right? Mm-hmm. It just kind of looks like an Easter chicken, like a fake chicken. That's what it looks like.
What the hell is an Easter chicken?
Like a fake chicken.
I don't even know what an Easter chicken is.
Like a
I got you.
Like those peeps.
I got it. Hey, Fuzzard. What's up, TikTok? I'm back on TikTok now. I've closed the Substack Live.
Her name is Millie, Nadia.
Millie.
It's Millie.
Millie. Fuzzard wants to know if we can have a pet together. No. No, that's not a thing, Fuzzard. We're not doing that. What? It's not a blow-up pet, Fuzzard. It's a virtual pet. You wouldn't be interested.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God.
What? So here's the thing, Fuzzard. To have a pet, we would have to have a streak, and there's not a chance in hell that you and I will ever have a streak, right? Because I don't like talking to you. Right. Yeah. I would have to talk to you for 3 days in a row, dude. That's not a thing. Oh, Fuzzard. I wonder what mine and Fuzzard's pet would look like.
It would probably look exactly the same.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't, Jill.
I feel like it would. I don't think you should do pets. I don't think we should be doing a virtual pet. This is dangerous.
I think it would be inbred.
Oh my God!
What? People would sit and they'd be like, "Yep, that's Fuzzards." You don't want to do the pet?
No, I'm good with the pet. I was just kidding. Because I'm not good at it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just warning you.
Oh, man. Rabbit meat tastes like chicken. That would fix the bird flu shortage, except for the eggs.
Yeah, it would.
We have more eggs than we know what to do with. Didn't you hear what the president said? We have so many eggs now, we don't even know what to do with all of them because he fixed it so great. That's literally what he said. We have more eggs than we've ever had. That's what he said.
That doesn't even make any sense.
No shit. That's what he said, Jill.
Why is this man even in the White House?
He said, when I came into office,
be allowed around it.
There was an egg shortage, and now we have more eggs than we've ever had. We don't know what to do with all the eggs. That's literally what he said.
So, Nadia, I'm going to say that your comment got filtered because all I see is put.
Put asterisk.
Right.
Put asterisk.
Yes, I'm going to assume your comment got filtered.
Yes, he modernized the egg industry. Yeah, that's what he did. U.S.-Iran nuclear talks postponed again. Yeah, I bet they were. That's because the Secretary of Defense told them last night on X that we were going to attack them. I wish there was a way to find out if he was on the sauce last night when he made that post on X.
Oh, I guarantee he was. I mean, when is he not on the sauce?
I don't know when he's on the sauce or not on the sauce. I just know I feel like he might have been on the sauce last night about 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time when he posted that.
Oh, yes, Nadia, your comment was definitely filtered. That is not on there.
X is just, it's like going to another dimension. That's why I don't stay. I go over there and I post and I leave. The only app that I actually stay on and look at any content is TikTok. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is like creators or people that create a lot of content, they don't watch hardly any content. They don't have time. And that's why I'm always behind on what's happening on social media, is because I don't have time to sit there and scroll through social media every day, all day, like I'm making content. I don't even read my own comments. He said he is the chicken, not the egg, and he said he came first. I'm sure he came first, for sure. Thank you for the corn, Donna. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Donna's hooking me up with corn.
Yes, she is. I don't think you have the paid version of X, right? You don't have the paid version.
I do.
Do you?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only way people see your content. That is the only way
That's true.
people see your content. So I post all my YouTube links there. And, I do that on every site because that's how you push your content.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah. No, they literally tell you if you want anyone to see this, you got to pay. That's basically what they say.
Right.
Now, if you're not a poster or a content creator or trying to expand, right, then there's no point in paying for that. But now every time you mention corn, I get a visual of Katy Perry. Yeah, Hawk duetted the video of Katy Perry picking the corn out of the, the
Yes.
poop.
My God.
As a Brit, I look across the pond and see something awful. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. This is awful.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's really awful.
Let's talk about this a little bit. I bet Jill knows a little bit about this. I haven't read that much about it. Or I should say, I'm hoping Jill knows a little bit about it. So they just passed a law in Texas about political memes being illegal.
Yes, I heard about that, but I don't know a lot about it. But we can find out.
Yeah, look that shit up. Political memes illegal. And I think if you post a political meme, it will have to have a disclaimer on it of some kind. How is Biden's...
So it says...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Someone asked how Biden's stock market was today. Mary, I think last time I looked, it was up like 200 points.
And it says, with AI on the rise, Texas House passes bill requiring more transparency in political ads.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be more transparency. If the image, audio, or video recording used were substantially altered, you have to include that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a bad bill if that's all it is. I mean, I'd have to look more into it, but why not? That means all of them, right? That means every single one of them that are fake.
Is it just fake? Or is it all of them?
I'm just saying. It's saying that it must have transparency.
Right. That's the disclaimer.
Yes, requiring political advertisements to include disclosure of the image, audio, video recordings if they're altered.
Yeah. Mary asked about the Flurries Act, which I did a piece of content on. I think it was today. Yeah, the state of Texas. So what they're doing, and it's not flurries. It's the Furries Act, Mary. The Furries Act. So what the Texas state legislature is doing is they are legitimizing a conspiracy theory by banning something that does not happen. That is what they are doing.
Yes.
Right? Because there are no litter boxes in classrooms. That's not a thing. Now, some people said Some people in that comment section, because I did go back and read it because I thought I would get a lot of Trumpers in there, said that there's a lot of 5-gallon buckets of kitty litter in classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
That way the children, and I don't believe this either. It could be, I just don't believe it. That way the children have somewhere to go to the bathroom on a lockdown. I'm like, what?
So that is supposed to be, like, I've heard that too. They have them there because if they're in lockdown, you can't leave, right? And it's also, they use it, oh God, why do we even have to have this conversation? If a school was shot, like, if a school was shot up, right, they have the kitty litter there for other purposes too.
Right. So when I was in, and obviously not every school is the same, but when I was in elementary school, this wasn't the case in high school, but when I was in elementary school, my elementary school, every room had its own bathroom. It was just a little, it was like the size of a closet. It basically had a toilet in it. That's all it had. And like one sink and one toilet. That's all it had, right? So it's like a half bath, I guess. But I had never heard of buckets of absorbent or kitty litter or oil dry or any of that type of stuff in case of a lockdown. I know they don't have it in my kids' school.
I don't know if it's real, right? It's not in all, if it is, it's not in all schools. I can tell you that right now. That's just what I heard. So it makes sense. I guess if you're in a school that, maybe the schools that have already had, issues or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know either. Thank you guys for sharing the live and liking it. I appreciate it. My goal is corn. I have a corn goal up there. Thank you guys.
Yeah, no, John, no one's making kids do that, right? That's what we're saying. That is not real. That part is absolutely not real. No one's using litter boxes in schools, and no one's making kids use them. But there is another reason going around as to why they have buckets of it in the school, and in case kids are on lockdown. I don't even know if that's true. It's just what I've heard.
Yeah.
So let's get that all straightened out, because Texas is weird. But as for that bill passing, absolutely, if it applies to both sides, right, to everything, it should apply to everything, both sides, all of it, not just. You can't post about the Republicans without telling it's AI. Most of the times you can tell. Hi, Lori. Well, almost all of the times. But then again, wait, think about this. MS-13 on the hand, right? Who thought that was real? Who thought that was real? The president did. So no wonder they're passing that bill. They're like, even our own president thinks just a writing from thing on there is real.
I need to get this question because I think he asked it earlier. Mr. Global, question from earlier. From an energy perspective, what are your thoughts on balancing energy needs and fighting some of the effects of climate change? There is a big push. One thing I'm supportive of, even though he's a moron, the Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, he is pushing nuclear energy big time. If you go to his X page, every post is about nuclear energy. Probably because he doesn't want to talk about oil and gas, because whenever he talks about oil and gas, he gets lambasted by the oil and gas people. Because he said some really dumb things about it. But as far as balancing energy needs, energy needs, does that include the massive increase in energy demand that's coming from AI and technology and all that. To me, the only way you balance it is with nuclear energy. That's it. That's the only way, because energy demand is going to grow faster than it's ever grown in history. I don't know if it's true. A lot of people are claiming, and I haven't been able to find the data on it yet to find out with any certainty, and it's why I haven't talked about it. A lot of people are claiming that renewable energy had a lot to do, and another reason I'm not talking about it is because it initially it feels like it's an attack from one side to the other. But a lot of people are claiming that renewable energy, specifically solar energy, had a lot to do with the blackouts in Spain and Portugal. So, I'm not going to talk about that until I can have some certainty around what actually happened, because I honestly don't believe them when they say what happened either. Some shit in the atmosphere. That's bullshit, right? Just what happened. So there's a reason I haven't talked about that. A couple of people have asked me why I haven't talked about it. It's because I haven't got to the bottom of it yet, and I don't want to speculate. But as far as balancing energy need and climate, it has to come from nuclear. It has to. It just has to. And we're pushing nuclear a lot, so... and likely like modular nuclear, right? The modular nuclear reactors. But the thing is that those things, it takes a long time to get nuclear power going. So... Voyager probes 1 and 2 have a nuclear reactor on board. That's cool. Do what, Jill?
I don't know a lot about nuclear. I know some. I just don't know a lot. I should probably learn more on that.
Well, the nuclear industry is like the airline industry. The only thing that is acceptable is perfection. You cannot have any failures. A failure in nuclear results in catastrophic, right? It's a catastrophic result if there's a failure. Just like if a plane crashes, that is a catastrophic result that ends the lives likely of whoever's on that plane. Same way with nuclear. So it does take a long time to get it going, and honestly, it should take a long time. It should be done right. And there's a lot of discussion about fast tracking of nuclear. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that. I do recognize we need it, and we need it quick, but I don't think we should be cutting corners to get it, or you'll end up with another freaking 3 Mile Island.
I was just going to say, no cutting corners. I don't agree with that.
Who owns the nuclear reactors? Private companies. Yeah, private companies. And the return on investment, it takes a really long time, and it's investment intensive. Like the upfront costs are just outrageous, billions and billions and billions of dollars. So not a lot of people want to invest in that. Thoughts on the Trump deal with Ukraine for rare earth minerals, oil, and LNG? So actually, the oil and LNG was left out of that deal. The final deal was just the minerals. We get 50% of their revenue, I'm assuming profit, from minerals, rare earth minerals in Ukraine. And in return, we help fund their war effort against Russia. That's basically the deal, right?
Right.
But they did leave oil and gas, LNG. They left all that out of the deal, so they don't have to pay us anything for those natural resources. And that seems like a deal that could have been made in a day. It really does. And the fact that it took this long because of the way Donald Trump does stuff, the way he turns everything into a fight. He tries to start a fight. That's how he starts a negotiation process, is by starting a fight. This could have been done in a day. Because we're going to finance the extraction of those rare earth minerals. Right? We're going to finance that ourselves. And that's why we get a piece of it. That agreement could have been that agreement probably could have been done in, honestly, 5 minutes with a handshake. Done. That's an easy deal. And it took us 100 days because we'd rather fight with people than just make a deal. Yeah, security guarantees, things like that. I just feel like that's an easy deal to make. I can't believe it took 100 days to make that deal. How is oil smuggling across the border a thing? Who would refine it? So the couple that was smuggling this oil, they owned an oil terminal. And oil terminals deliver oil to refineries every day. So they had a business that was set up to be able to do this and potentially get away with it. But you're never going to get away with stealing $300 million worth of oil. That's just not a thing. It's just not.
Yeah. That was a lot of oil, too.
Yeah, I would have stopped after, I don't know, the first shipment. I'd have been like, we're good. I don't know if those people ever get out of prison. Because they were working with
3 Mile Island. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
They were working with the cartels, so they're in trouble.
They were working with the cartels.
Yeah.
Yes. Someone said the 3 Mile Island reactor is being restarted, Unit 1, and it's not until like 2028. Unit 2 is permanently shut down. They will not be restarting that.
Do what? Say that again?
Someone said 3 Mile Island reactor is being restarted.
Mm-hmm.
Unit 1 will be restarted, and that ain't going to be until like 2028. But Unit 2 is completely shut down permanently.
Yeah. And that's for an AI center, right? A data center?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
What's wrong with snuggling? Well, yeah, snuggling oil is that's not cool either.
I mean, smuggling, what's the difference? You smuggle it, you have to smuggle it in order to snuggle it, right? For the cartels, are you kidding me though? That part I was like, what? For the cartels?
Yeah.
There's more to that story that we don't know.
There is.
There has to be.
There is. So on TikTok, your pal, Line 5 fast-tracked no EIS, which is an environmental impact study. Is that legal? So your pal, this is how the Keystone got shut down. This is how the Keystone XL got shut down. Donald Trump fast-tracked it. No environmental impact study. They sued, and the Supreme Court found, or it was a lower court, a district court, actually found in favor of the plaintiffs that they had to go through the environmental impact study. And the Supreme Court, basically, they didn't uphold the decision of the lower court, but they just decided not to decide on it, and that basically upheld the decision of the lower court.
Yes.
So when you ask me if that's legal, I would say that I think if that goes through the court system, it'll probably get reversed, because that's what happened with the Keystone XL. That is exactly what happened with the Keystone XL. Trump tried to fast track it, no environmental impact study, and the courts said no. And so what you're talking about with Line 5, unless there's something else there that I'm not aware of, I would suspect that would get reversed in court as well.
Westy says, if you have to smuggle your snuggles, change your deodorant. Well, Westy, that's not true. Because if somebody would have to smuggle their snuggles from me, even if they have the best deodorant in the world. I don't do hugs.
Yeah, Jill doesn't hug people.
No, that's not a thing.
It is a thing. She just doesn't know it yet.
It's not a thing. It's absolutely, hugs are not a thing.
Is the U.S. going to surpass the record oil production that we saw the past few years? We will likely surpass it this year, but only because we started with Joe Biden's oil production at the beginning of the Trump administration. So the first few months we had really strong oil production, and that may carry us throughout the year. It really depends on how much production declines this year. If we see some significant declines, because, I don't know, maybe OPEC floods the market, maybe Donald Trump keeps crashing the economy, maybe oil goes to $40, I don't know. All these things could happen where maybe we don't set another record. I can tell you this for sure. There's no chance in hell we set a record in 2026. That's not a thing. Now, there's another caveat to that. If we attack Iran, we're going to blow that record out of the water, because oil's going to go through the roof. So there's a lot of things that need to happen. But right now, I would say that we will break the record, but it won't be a reflection of Donald Trump's policies, because oil will be declining. These first few months of 25, we've produced significantly more oil than we did in the first few months of 24. So in all likelihood, we break the record, with production declining as we do it. So we'll just have to see how all this plays out with Iran, with the economy, and everything else. If the economy completely crashes, there's a really good chance we don't, because oil production will drop precipitously if the economy crashes. It'll drop really fast. And people will see how fast oil production drops in the United States when we're not drilling. It goes really fast. We're certainly not going to blow it out of the water like everyone thought. That's not going to happen. But yeah, John says rig counts are kind of stable right now. If the rig counts remain stable, and I honestly don't expect them to, unless something happens in Iran, I expect to see rig counts dropping. But if rig counts kind of stay where they are, we'll definitely break the record. So, but we're in this weird place where it's either about to collapse or it's about to take off. Honestly, Like, what it's doing right now has no chance of being what it's going to be doing in 3 months. Everything's going to look different. And when you try to forecast stuff, you need to be able to look out and kind of know what's going to happen in 3 months to forecast. And nobody has a clue what's going to be happening in 3 months in this country. Like, nobody. Right. Nobody. Even Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing tomorrow, much less in 90 days.
That's the truth.
Did we discuss the failed motion to stop the tariffs? So we did not. I don't know that much about it. Did it pass the Senate, Jill? Or did it die in the Senate and then die in the House?
I don't think so. I think yeah. I don't know. Recently, did they change it?
It was like yesterday. Rand Paul.
Yeah. I think it passed the Senate so it could die in the House.
Kind of like our pet.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Congressional effort to stop duties struck down.
Someone said it died in the Senate.
Died in the Senate, yeah. It was a tie.
It was a tie.
Yeah, so that means...
They were trying to pass it in the Senate. Okay, yeah. Yes, I got it now.
And they knew it was going to die in the House.
I just didn't go any further than that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They do need to pass that, right? They've given the executive branch too many emergency powers, and all of this is being done with emergency powers. So now, the only thing the president has to do anymore is just declare an emergency on whatever he wants done. And he has the power to go do whatever he wants. Like, it makes no sense. Makes no sense. Thank you for the corn, Kelly. Thank you, kitty cat. Waltz is now the UN ambassador. That must be a position that doesn't require any knowledge of security. PL says the little companies are pulling rigs. The larger companies have added a few. That's correct. The little companies are pulling rigs. And larger companies have a lot of kind of leverage over service companies and contractual power to renegotiate contracts. So one thing that occurs during downturns in the oil and gas industry is the large companies, typically they can continue to operate, they renegotiate their contracts, and they drive down their cost to drill. But what they do a lot of times is they don't complete the wells. They don't put them online. They just drill them. Then they come back and complete them later. But, if you can save a couple of $1 million on a well and can afford for it not to produce, then it's a good time to drill when everything's cheap. And everything gets cheap when nobody has work to do, because they'll do the work for free just to keep their people working. Devon Energy was a company that did that for decades. They were the most active when oil prices were the lowest. And the large companies just, they eat the smaller ones. That's exactly what happens. Sheldon Whitehouse, traveling back from Korea, couldn't vote. Wow. Yeah, they happened to put that up for a vote when one of the Democrats were gone. That makes sense.
Oh, God.
When they knew it was going to come down to one vote, that's when they decided to make the vote, when there wasn't somebody there to vote. Yeah.
Juju says, when are they getting rid of Keg's breath?
I don't know what Keg's breath is. It doesn't sound very pleasing. Huh?
Hedge stuff, or however you say it's freaking name.
Just...
I mean, it's a keg, right?
Just say Keg's breath. I hadn't heard that.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm gonna start using that. Thank you, Juju, because I can't say his name anyway.
He's a Whiskey Pete, right?
Whiskey Pete. Yes.
Whiskey Pete. Triton says Democrats started the motion. Funny enough. Now that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah. What are they doing today? Are they writing strongly worded letters today? I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to somebody. I don't know who.
Thank you, Juju. I'm glad you're here to help. That makes it so much easier. Keg's breath. I like it.
What does this
I'll just
do?
be like Whiskey Pete. Keg's breath. What does what do? What are you touching?
I just hit some button. Dave Schmitzy, thank you so much for the super chat. Just wanted to say thanks and keep doing what you do. You may have already mentioned it. Atlanta Fed GDP now uses the gold adjustment going forward. That is that the only thing they use now? We hadn't talked about that in some time, a few days, maybe a week.
Right.
The last time I had looked at the Atlanta Fed GDP now, they were using both, but David is saying they're using the gold adjusted moving forward. So let's go take a look at it. Yes, they've changed it.
Great.
They have. They've changed it. Thank you, David. So they're currently showing their estimate for the second quarter of 1.1% growth. That's after 1 day. Down from 2.4% yesterday. And it looks like they are using... Yes, they are. He's right.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
1.1%. The blue chip as consensus, which is something new that they've added on there, the blue chip consensus shows looks like a 0.8%. And that changes pretty much daily. So as we get deeper into the month, the data will update and move that number up or down. I'm suspecting it's going to do nothing but go down. Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much for the super chat. So the question is that the correct way to measure the GDP? I honestly have no idea. I just know it's different than we've always done it. And that in itself is a red flag. Can't wait for us every single day. Wow. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Lori.
So Donald Trump is already blaming next quarter's contraction on Joe Biden as well. I did see that. So what's he going to do? What's he going to do if there's some possibility, like say the tariffs end and we have GDP growth in the second quarter? Now, he's already given Joe Biden either blame or credit for whatever happens in the second quarter.
Uh-huh.
Does that mean he has to make it worse to make Joe Biden look worse?
Oh, God. Well, he'll just flip-flop.
David says, don't put much faith in the nowcast until they get at least 1 month of the underlying data. Yeah, that's why I said it's just the first day and it changes daily. And I don't remember what the final number was I looked at on the nowcast, but it was much worse than what it ended up being, which is what we were hoping for. So,
So what's the word? Double think? Double think.
Double think.
That's the word. Double think. That's what he'll do. I had to think there for a second, because I don't double think, so I had to actually think. Double think. Go and look that up. That's what he will do if it changes.
You're going to confuse yourself.
No, I'm not confusing myself.
How does Donald Trump double think?
Do you know what double think means?
I know he doesn't even think, so how does he double think? That's what I'm saying.
Well, basically, when he said that the stock market, belonged to him, and then now he's saying they belong to Biden.
Yeah.
He's double thinking.
That's double talk, isn't it?
Well, it's double think. If you go look up double think, look up double think.
I'm just messing with you.
Can you do that?
Relax.
Okay. Of course you're messing with me. I am relaxed. I am very relaxed. You're trying to confuse me is what you're doing.
Juju. He's the stupidest fucking person to ever grace this earth. He may be, honestly. He may be.
That was perfect. I really like that. He really is. And it's true. How do people actually like him? How do they support him? Why would they vote for him? It's a cult.
Can he quadruple think? There's no way he's quadruple thinking.
No.
That would be 4D chess. Yeah.
That would be 5D chess, probably.
Fantastic. People are so dumb. Man, Juju's on a roll. She sounds more like me every day.
She is. She's right, though.
My son says to me, Dad, you think everybody is stupid? I said, no.
Oh my God. You got your kid
he said, yes.
thinking that you think everyone's stupid.
No, he said, yes, you do. You constantly say, everyone is stupid. And I said, yeah, I don't think it. I know it. Okay? Everyone is stupid.
Of course you did.
And
of
then,
course you did.
Because I'm walking into a minefield and I don't even know it, right? So yes. Do you think Mrs. Ball is stupid? Well, Mrs. Ball is his school teacher.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, no, Mrs. Ball is not at all stupid. She's very intelligent, I'm sure. So he just starts naming off all these names of people, like important people in his life, like his principal, his coach, his music teacher, like, Connor, his friend, whoever the fuck that is. I'm like, no, they're not stupid. Well, you think everybody's stupid. No, they're not. Just leave me alone. They're not stupid, okay? The people I deal with are stupid.
That is funny. He got you. He got you good. I'm surprised he didn't ask you if you thought he was stupid.
No, I tell him.
He didn't ask you that, did he?
No, he knows I don't think he's stupid. It's like a saying, right? You know what I mean? When you say everyone's stupid, like you don't really mean everyone is stupid, but kids take things so literally.
They do. That's why I said I'm surprised he didn't ask you that. Are you sure that you don't think I'm? Because the way kids take things literally.
Yeah, I have to really be more careful about what I say about around him, so I don't
Yes.
raise a very angry person.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I do honestly, I don't talk to him about it that much. When he hears me say things like that, he's like hearing me in the background because I'm not talking to him. You know what I mean? Like
You're not talking to him.
yeah,
Right?
he overhears me say things to other people, and then he comes to me with questions.
And he probably also hears you making your videos and you call people stupid all the time on there.
He doesn't. I do that away from everybody.
Okay.
You,
But then you're talking to your wife and you're like, everybody's stupid.
yes. So here's what I do, Jill. I bet thousands of times in your life you've been on the phone with somebody, and the second you hung up, you were like, "What a dumbass!"
Yeah,
Right?
I've done it lots of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the phone with someone, you hang up, and the second you hang up, you literally verbalize your thoughts, and you say, "What a dumbass!" About whoever you were talking to on the phone. Yep. I do that after I make content. So I'll make a piece of content in my office, and then I'll like be walking through the house, and I'll say, "What a dumb fuck," and people will hear it.
Right.
So I need to get those out before I leave the office. Is what I'm saying.
Yes, get them out as soon as you're done.
So Jill, have you ever said someone was a dumbass when you were hanging up the phone with them, but before you hung up? Because I've done that, and they called me right back.
No, I've never got caught. No, I've never got caught.
I've been caught, and it was my boss.
And you have to be like, I wasn't talking to you. We were already hanging up. I was talking to someone else.
No, I owned it. I said, "You are a dumbass."
My God.
Well, there's no reason to lie. He knew I thought he was a dumbass, you know.
That's funny.
That's a Gen X thing, though, right?
It is.
So who went into Hawks Live last night? Did anybody go into Hawks Live on YouTube last night? I saw Westy in there. I remember seeing Westy. Anybody else in the chat? I went in there for like 10 minutes.
I did not.
Lori. Lori says, "You're not angry, you just speak your mind. It's got to be a Capricorn thing." Well, yeah, I am definitely a Capricorn. But Jill is not a Capricorn, and she does the exact same thing.
Yes.
I think it's a Gen X thing.
I think it is too.
Hi, Kelly B. Kelly B, you're not... or never mind. I get confused on my TikTok live because I'm watching it on my backup while I'm live on my main. Then I tell people they're not following me when they are.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I have content to make, Jill.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
I got things to do too.
What do you have to do? Roast beef sandwiches?
No.
Or was that last night?
I have to make some. That was last night. We had hot roast beef with French fries. It was delicious too.
I'm missing a day. I missed the live last night. I fell asleep.
You did. You did. I made bread last night.
With your new bread maker?
Yep.
Was it marvelous?
French. It was good. It was French bread.
French bread? Oui, oui.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's just the brand that it was made, that it is.
But you made it in Pennsylvania.
I know.
It's Pennsylvania bread.
I made French.
Is
there Pennsylvania bread?
It's Frenchylvania bread.
Now I'm going to have to see if there's such thing as Pennsylvania bread.
It's probably a biscuit. Grand's biscuits.
No, it wouldn't be that.
All right, everyone, we're going to wrap it up. You look up your...
Oh, there is.
There's Pennsylvania bread?
There is. Pennsylvania Dutch bread, yes.
No, I've had Dutch bread. It's really good. It is.
So it's often made with wheat flour, potato flour, and honey.
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Yeah. I forgot about that bread. Yes, I'm going to have to make some.
I forgot that it was Pennsylvania Dutch, but that's what it was that I had.
Yes, and it is good. All right.
All right. I'm going to go check on Millie.
Oh, geez. I'll check on her, too, I guess.
I better check on the chickens, too.
You better.
Thank you guys for joining us today.